Welcome into another edition of TPI Talk. I'm Scott Hardy, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Mr. Ralph Frohsin, who is a longtime businessman and spokesperson for the City of Alexander City. Mr. Frohsin, thanks for joining me this morning.
Scott, it's a pleasure. I appreciate you asking me.
Yes, sir. So again, the premise behind the original videos, the initial videos for TPI Talk has been revolving around our 125-year anniversary here at the Alexander City Outlook, and we've had the opportunity to discuss the newspaper's relationship as well as the city's relationship with different individuals within the community, and I'm very excited to have this opportunity to speak with you, especially being the spokesperson you've been for Alexander City.
Well, thank you. I was born and reared here. I'm third generation. My grandfather came to Alex City in 1890 and went in business with the Hurstvils and in the retail business. At that time it was more of a general store. They sold everything from furniture to harnesses to food to clothes.
Yes, sir.
So then my father his father died when he was 23, and he came back from college to run the business, and then after I went to the military after college, I came back and worked with my father, Frohsin.
Yes, sir. So for some of our younger viewers, they may not have had the opportunity to visit Frohsin or even realize what Frohsin was. Could you give a little background as to your business here in Alexander City?
Sure. Well, as I said, my grandfather opened the business, and we were very lucky, and the people in this community and really around East Alabama were very loyal customers, and our business was based on service and quality merchandise. And as you and I were talking earlier, there's so many young people that have never been exposed to a business where there's an employee there to wait on everybody that walks through the front door. And we enjoyed selling quality merchandise, and people came from really all of East Alabama to shop with us.
Yes, sir. And so, speaking of the shopping, as we were preparing for our 125-year anniversary publication, I was reviewing some of our older outlooks, and if you look back, you were very involved in the advertising end, so that's
Right.
something you may not see as much on the retail side now, but can you discuss a little bit about your relationship with the outlook and how that helped your business?
Well, absolutely. My father, and then he instilled it in me. We certainly believed in advertising and worked closely with the paper and was very satisfied with the results. And we also had a program that a lot of older people in Alex City will remember called Daily Doings. It was Ms. Louise Day, and she had a local news, society news kind of program that came on at 11:45 in the morning, and literally the town stopped to listen to Ms. Day. She was quite a character and quite popular, and found lost dogs and it's entirely different than today. I don't know if it would be popular today, but I guess it was before cell phones, so it was the Facebook of its era.
Yes, sir. And again, we're here with Mr. Ralph Frohsin, longtime business person here in Alexander City, and as I said, a integral part of how we've grown and progressed as a community. And I wanted to talk to you a bit about that. This is obviously, again, our 125-year anniversary, and you've been, not the entire 125, of course, but you've been involved in a lot of that history. So,
right.
Just from maybe when you first opened the store to maybe when it was closing to now, just maybe talk a little bit about the progression of Alexander City.
Well, of course, it was before my time, but the city burned in 1902, Friday the 13th of August in 1902. And my grandfather was in business then, and it was interesting. They moved when the fire started, it was a very windy day, and they didn't have fire equipment or fire department as such, so the whole downtown burned, and they tried to move the merchandise somewhere close to where the First Methodist Church is now, but even it burned up there. So they had to start really from scratch. The building was where it always was, so they rebuilt the building, and of course, good times and bad times, I guess, in everybody's life and business. But my father was too young for the First World War and too old for the Second World War. So he was involved in Red Cross for a lot of years here. Back then it was not United Way, it was Community Chest. He did that, but running the business during the war was very, very difficult because there was no merchandise. There was no cotton. All the fabric went for the military use, and he had a very difficult time keeping the store open just because of being able to acquire merchandise. I mean, it was so funny. He said people, if they got a shipment of white shirts in or men's underwear in, people would line up at the front door to, almost like they did, I guess, for the Dairy Queen, but they would line up to get to buy a white shirt or to buy a pair of men's underwear.
Well, one of the main events that I love to cover here at the Outlook and that we're part of is the Alexander City Jazz Fest.
Right.
And so you're one of the founders of this event, and I just wanted to see, maybe could you discuss a little bit about that? I know we were talking before just
Sure.
how great this one was.
Well, the Jazz Fest came to be because when the business was started as Frohsin's in 1891. So in 1991, our 100th anniversary, we wanted to do a thank you to the community. So and we thought about a music festival, and we didn't, free to the public, and it was downtown. The Mayor Bailey at the time thought it was a good idea. He closed had police close the street, so we had the Alabama State band, which was a wonderful band, and I forget the name of the director, but he did 3 acts. He did like a New Orleans jazz act, a big band act, and maybe popping music. So that was kind of how it started, having 3 acts from the first one. Well, I thought it was just going to be a one-time deal, and the Outlook came to me, the radio station, several of the banks. They said, let's make this an annual event. So the community just took it, adopted it, and ran with it. And again, the businesses have been very generous. It's probably the only music festival in the state that you can go to without being charged an admission, which we think we've tried real hard to keep it that way, because we feel like everybody can come, young, old. There's no age limit, and it's been a very successful, and as I said, this was the 27th year, and as we talked, for a lot of years we had to dodge a lot of raindrops, but this year was just gorgeous. It's perfect weather, and when it started off as a one night festival, and then Russell Lambs was interested, so we did it Friday night in Ellick City, and then moved it to the lake, originally to where the Kalijah restaurant is now. We moved it to there on Saturday night, and we have had some incredible entertainers. One of my favorite stories now is we had Zach Brown's band, but he wasn't even the headliner. He was the middle act. So that's, it's come a long way. We've had a lot of wonderful New Orleans musicians and entertainers, Dr. John, Taj Mahal, we can go on and on, the Radiators, and it's been fun, and I'm so glad that hopefully it's got traction, and because I think it's very positive for Ellick City. I've heard so many people in other communities, including Montgomery, they had Jubilee, and it folded, and some of the people that were involved called me and said, can we use the Ellick City Jazz Festival's format to start another festival on the river? And that's what I think they call it, River Jam, but they got the idea really from us. So that's a compliment to Ellick City.
That's some great knowledge you're dropping there. And the thing I really do love about the Jazz Fest, and it is a correlation with the paper, is that very few things can bring people together
That's
like that. And that's the
exactly
one
right.
thing about the Jazz Fest, and you brought it up. It doesn't matter who you are or your race or gender or whatever.
Right.
Everybody comes for
Absolutely,
the Jazz
and
Fest.
has a good time, and it's so fun seeing these, 5 and 6 year old up there dancing and having a good time. It's just, it's a real positive thing for the community.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Frohsin, I really want to say how much I appreciate you sitting down with us for a little bit. Anybody that is familiar with Alexander City understands the importance and the role you've played and the things that have happened. And so you've been a great supporter of the newspaper, and
Right.
we're just very gracious and appreciative
Well,
of your
Scott,
help.
again, as was the case with the Jazz Festival, the community was so loyal and so supportive of my family's business, and I'll always appreciate that. And of course, as I said, we worked great with the newspaper, and I think it was a win-win situation.
Yes, sir. Mr. Frohsin, thank you for
Thank
joining
you,
me.
Scott.
This has been another edition of TPI Talk. My name is Scott Hardy. See you next time.